How can you earn a decent profit being a non-CDL truck driver? Can you make money driving a box truck in 2020? These are the questions for all of you who are engaged in the trucking business. In this episode, you'll get the tips to increase your earnings with no additional expenses. Hey guys, my name's Natalie, and welcome to our trucking business channel. Regardless of your economic background, age, and education, trucking is a great equalizer. It allows you to make good money. Yeah, you heard me right, good money. It's not like every truck driver is making a decent profit, but there are steps and precautions to make more, even without a CDL. Keep watching, as you'll get the roadmap to earn more money driving a box truck. Being an owner-operator means you're not only ready to fight for lucrative loads on the market, but also you've done calculations before you start rolling your trucking business. What kind of calculations am I talking about? It's a rate per mile. The main question is, what is the right rate per mile for a box truck and how to keep it higher than break-even? Running a box trucking business without knowing your costs is like driving with your eyes closed. You need to know the cost of each mile your truck drives to get the correct calculations of rate per mile. To get it right, account for your company's expenses. These expenses fall under three categories: fixed costs, variable costs, and salaries. You can use accounting software or other products to make your life simpler. If you have specific questions about calculating cost per mile, it's also a good idea to consult a certified public accountant. What I need to highlight is that as soon as you know your RPM, you have to understand one important thing. When you start rolling your business, you need to pay attention only to average RPM, because you'll definitely get loads with a lower rate than the bottom line you've calculated. All the time you need to plan a chain of loads with a good average rate to run a profitable business. The second thing you must know is your dimensions and restrictions caused by regulations to a non-CDL driver. If you've decided to drive a box truck, make sure you properly understand the restrictions of operation under a non-CDL to make good money within all of the regulations. You probably know that the rules and regulations for commercial driver's licenses are very different than those required for other motorists. The reason's simple. An average car weighs about 5,000 pounds, while a fully loaded big rig can weigh up to 80,000 pounds. With that in mind, the difference makes commercial vehicles much more challenging to drive and much more dangerous if they happen to be involved in an accident. To operate a truck with a gross weight of under 26,000 pounds, you don't need a CDL. That's because 26 and 1,000 pounds is for the requirement of CDL, the general weight criterion. So, gross weight is just a starting point to understand which loads you might haul. Also, it's really important to know your truck load capacity, loading space dimensions, lengths, widths, height, and floor space to be really good at searching and negotiating the right loads at good rates. It would significantly influence your income as you start focusing on business opportunities, which will bring you the best loads and outcomes ever. The third question is, how to correctly search loads for a box truck. When it comes to seeking the right loads for a box truck, it can be a little hard, but here are some hacks. Nowadays, there are a lot of available load boards where you can post your truck and find a load to carry. The most popular are DAT Truckers Edge, Direct Freight, 123 Load Board, and Truckstop. When you go to a load board to search loads for your box truck, you have to understand search criteria to find the best options. Here are some tips on how to extend your search process to get all of the best options on the market. Firstly, use extended search inquiry. Put on the board all types of equipment similar to yours. For instance, street box, van hotshot, van reefer, van liftgate. And also don't specify the dimensions and weight you can haul. Just bear that in mind within the surfing load board. Brokers quite often mess up with details when post loads on a board. Sometimes you can find a partial van load 48,000 pounds for 1,000 miles and the rate is $350. Isn't it strange? When you check this load, you might find that the actual weight is 4,800 pounds and it can be hauled by your type of equipment. All the time, thoroughly check a load board to find a good load to go. Secondly, don't forget to post your truck on a load board. You have to understand that while you're looking for a load, someone's looking for a truck. Don't miss the opportunity to be found on a load board by broker or shipper. You never know who needs your help on the other side. Just do that to increase your chances. The third, a hard to do, but the most important step is to establish relationships with small brokers and shippers who use box trucks to cover their logistics needs. It might be a good opportunity to have a stable flow of loads with decent rates. As you see, you don't need a magic pill to act on these tips. Everything depends on you. Just be ready to roll up your sleeves and dig deeper to get the best outcomes for yourself. This is highly competitive business. There's no chance to prosper without going an extra mile. If you understand you don't want to do all of these routine tasks, then try to find a dispatcher who will do that job for you. This is why dispatchers exist. A good dispatcher will cover not only finding a load process, but also manage your paperwork flow that is huge due to a higher amount of loads compared to full truckload. Last but not least is how to plan a haul and how a dispatcher might help. I mentioned previously that when you run trucking business, you have to take into account mostly an average RPM. But how to make sure that your next load will cover the gap in gross revenue? The answer is plan your haul and make calculations. Your truck is making money only when it's rolling a road. When it comes to route planning, hiring a dispatcher will save you a lot of stress and prevent you from problems during finding the right loads and keeping your RPM much higher than a bottom line. Here are more pros why you should hire a dispatcher. She keeps drivers active. She checks all of the details at every destination point to ensure that loads and unloads go smoothly. She helps companies stay on top of government regulations. She keeps the driver and customers happy. Are you still in doubt if you need a dispatcher or not? The dispatcher takes care of the plan of hauling and saves the driver the stress of getting a good revenue. Now, you've gotten the full information needed to earn a good profit without a CDL. Here at Resolute, we intend to help every driver make decent money with no matter what type of truck he drives. Hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to watch the next episodes. Shoot a comment with your own experience of getting a rate per mile and describe the bottlenecks within the process. Thank you for watching this video.